Killie's rare victory over Celtic on Tuesday.
A victory would be very, very welcome, yes. We've beaten Kilmarnock 3 times, but it goes for nothing. I don't think we can count on that psychologically or otherwise, because Killie have had a couple of great results. They've played very well midweek. I've seen them against Celtic and they thoroughly deserved their win. If we get it right tactically, then I think we can win the game. And I think it's down to, we look for the players to give 100% and to be playing 100%.
Alex Burke, who plotted the downfall of Tommy Byrne's side with a fine strike, knows another 3 points could help Killie survive in the Premier Division.
Confidence now is sky high. We could beat a few games that was a down on that, but we beat Morton, then the result against Celtic was terrific, and just got to hopefully carry that on against Motherwell tomorrow.
Second bottom Kilmarnock did themselves a huge favour with their victory over Celtic in midweek, but 19-year-old goal scorer Alex Burke was brought back down to earth in training this week, and he knows that Killie will have to repeat Tuesday's form to take maximum points from Motherwell tomorrow, a side just 2 points above them in the table.
The gaffer was saying there's no point in beating Celtic if you can't beat Motherwell tomorrow. It's just, that's even a more important game than it was against Celtic, because Motherwell are just above us, and if we beat them tomorrow, we go above them.
And Paul Wright, likewise, the only goal for Kilmarnock against Motherwell. That a vital match at the bottom of the table. Paul Wright's goal makes it Kilmarnock 1, Motherwell 0. All the details coming up for you on Afternoon Sports Scene. McGowne.
A fascinating 90 minutes, Dougie, and Kilmarnock cruising away now from that relegation area. 2 vital moments in the match. One on the very threshold of half-time, when Kerr allegedly brought down Tommy Coyne inside the box. I didn't think it was a penalty. Referee Stuart Dougal certainly did think it was, and Owen Coyle took the penalty kick. Well, what a magnificent save by Colin Meldrum, diving down to his left. Into the second half, 77 minutes the clock, and Paul Wright, that experienced player, 14th goal of his season, and a magnificent strike, a little touch and a half volley, drove it low beyond the goalkeeper Scott Howie, and Kilmarnock were celebrating. They hung on in there, they produced a magnificent performance. It really was an entertaining afternoon, and at the end of it all, Kilmarnock are dragging themselves out of trouble at the end of a fabulous week for them in which to beat Celtic. Full time at Rugby Park then, Kilmarnock 1, Motherwell 0.
It was a vital relegation clash at Rugby Park. Kilmarnock Motherwell with Davy Probin.
Kilmarnock rounded off their best week of the season with a crucial single-goal win over Motherwell. This despite conceding a penalty on the stroke of half-time when Dylan Kerr brought down Tommy Coyne. That left Colin Meldrum facing Owen Coyle. An excellent save this from the Scotland under-21 international, and one that was to turn the match Kilmarnock's way. Bobby Williamson's side grabbed the only goal of the game 13 minutes from time. There didn't appear to be any danger for Motherwell with so many players goal side of the ball, but substitute Colin McKee changed the angle of attack and put Paul Wright in for the crucial strike. And that was enough to buy the Cup semi-finalists some breathing space at the foot of the table as they move up 2 places. It finished 1-0 at Rugby Park.
A vital penalty saved by stand-in keeper Colin Meldrum as Kilmarnock beat Motherwell.
Well, let's get back to the Premier Division. Alan McIntyre, you took in the game at Rugby Park today. A vital 3 points for Kilmarnock.
I better start with an apology to most of our Kilmarnock viewers, because I said I thought they were going the wrong way, but it's an absolutely terrific result for them. It really was. It wasn't a brilliant game, as you would imagine, down at that the level of the table, but they certainly rolled their sleeves up. They had the one and actually puts them above Motherwell, and a terrific result for them. Bobby's actually persisted with some of the young boys, and it's paid dividend just now after a superb result midweek, and they go and top it off with another one today.
And a real pressure save from Colin Meldrum from Tommy Coyne's penalty.
Really pleased. Obviously, having spent a little time there, I got quite close to the boys, and that's probably the reason why they're doing better, because I gave them a kick in the right direction, I suppose. But Melly, good young goalkeeper in the under-21 squad, works with Big Jim quite a lot down there, and he's done great. And with Big Lecco not being selected, he's got a chance to really stake a place for him in there, and he's pulled up a great save.
And Stuart, what a week it's been. We spoke to you on the live link on Wednesday night, and we said that the Tuesday night game had been a shocker, but what a shock at Ibrox on Wednesday.
Yeah, we were a nightmare, Jim, to be honest. We thought if we'd have won that game, that they'd gone 8 points clear. But full credit to Dundee United, playing with a lot of confidence, and they deserve the victory, yeah. OK, we'll talk more later. Now, hi there, welcome back to the Saturday special. You're watching Sky Scottish. Now, a real 6-pointer at Rugby Park this afternoon, where the home side
We're in against Motherwell, who last night signed Mickey Weir from Hibs. Killie looking to build on their midweek win over Celtic. Jim White watched the game.
Well, this is a very big result for Kilmarnock, not a good one as you can imagine for Motherwell. So the story then of the 90 minutes, well, nothing really to report in the first 20 minutes of this match, other than Motherwell's Eddie May limping off to be replaced by Fraser Wishart. But new Motherwell signing Mickey Weir came close just after that. Coyle put him in, but Colin Meldrum saved well. And then a great Kilmarnock chance as it began to get more interesting. McIntyre to Burke, his square ball to Paul Wright, but Scott Howie kept him out. And then a very big moment in this match just before half-time. Tommy Coyne was brought down inside the box by Dylan Kerr. A penalty kick awarded. Owen Coyle stepped up to take it, but to the delight of every Kilmarnock supporter inside Rugby Park, Colin Meldrum saved it. So half-time 0-0 when it looked as if Killie would go one down. The second half began with Motherwell being rewarded with a free kick in a very dangerous position. Mitchell van der Gag cracked it, not on target. In fact, we were talking about Rose at the back of the stand. Still, neither side could get any real rhythm going in this game. And then at long last, the winning goal. 77 minutes gone. McKee's cross, Paul Wright stuck out a foot and it flew past Howie. His 14th goal of the season, and he won't score a more important one, I'm sure. Jim McIntyre almost made it 2-0 Killie, but that was it. They held out. A big result, as I say. Kilmarnock 1, Motherwell 0.
Yeah, Motherwell deep in trouble now, but 3 valuable points for Kilmarnock. And after the game, Jim spoke to Killie goalscorer Paul Wright.
Yeah, it was a pressure game, and I was just fortunate to get the break in the box that maybe nobody else did. I was fortunate enough to put the ball in the net, and it was 3 points for Kilmarnock, which I thought we deserved over the piece.
Not much between the two sides this afternoon, Paul. It was probably just going to take one goal, wasn't it?
Yeah, definitely. And just fortunate, you know. We created a few chances, but nothing was going for us round about the box. The defence was solid. So we knew, you know what I mean, with the defence playing the way they were, if we got the break up front, we knew we could maybe steal the game.
This has been some week for yourself and for Kilmarnock, obviously. The win in the Cup, the victory over Celtic, and now a victory over Motherwell today.
Yeah, if somebody told me that last Saturday before we went out and played Morton, that you won the next 3 games, you know, after the way we'd been playing, I wouldn't have believed them. But it just shows you what a week does in football, and the way the confidence has started to grow in that dressing room, it's brilliant.
It really is a pressure business, isn't it, Paul? I mean, you could feel it today, and you could also feel the sense of relief around Rugby Park on full time.
Yeah, this club, you know, it's a Premier League club, and hopefully we can stay in the Premier League, because nobody wants to go in the first division. You see the setup here and the players here. You know, it's just a pity it's a dogfight at the bottom. It's just going to be a pity that somebody's going to have to go down.
Well, as Jim White said in his match report, a real turning point in this game was Motherwell's penalty miss. We can have a look at that now. And Alan McIntyre, let's have a look at the penalty incident first of all and see if it was well deserved.
Well, I think it was. I tell you, Tommy does superb from the throw-in, because he does it a lot. He dummies the ball and he turns it. He knows he's going to get the replay, but I think he was definitely caught in the box. But I tell you, Colin's save from Owen Coyle, who's been scoring goals from Motherwell since he came, it has to be said, and it's a great save. And as it turns out, it's a winning save, because as Paul said, he went up the other end of the park there and nicked the goal.
Did you notice Motherwell heads going down at that point?
I don't know. I think both teams are a little edgy. Even I think Paul even said the game wasn't a particularly great game, as you may have thought. You know, nervous. I don't know about going down. They still sort of, you know, Kilmarnock almost went the more negative of the teams once they went ahead, and Motherwell may come into the game a little bit more. But their heads are not down yet, but certainly they might be on the way back in the bus when they start thinking about the game.
And Stuart, when we listened to Paul Wright there, he said if you'd given him 3 wins last Saturday, he would have taken that. And to get the 6 league points against Celtic and today against Motherwell, especially going to Ibrox next week.
That's right, it's a worrying thing. They're on a bit of a roll at the moment. Confidence will be high, so they'll be coming to Ibrox, you know, in good mood. But like Alan was saying, you know, I think a lot of the games from now to the end of the season will be nervous affairs, not only at the bottom, even at the top. I mean, you saw our games the last against Dundee United the other night, and Rangers against Kilmarnock, Celtic against Kilmarnock, should I say. Tense, edgy, nervous affairs at the bottom and at the top.
Yeah, but what we can say is Kilmarnock are in good shape.
This one a very big game for both clubs. Points so vital to both right now. Owen Coyle in the attack for Motherwell. New signing Mickey Weir, and that's a good save from Colin Meldrum. So a bright start from Weir. But then Killie pushed up. Paul Wright in space, and a great block there from Brian Martin. And then just before half-time, controversy. Tommy Coyne on the attack, felled inside the box, says the referee, by Dylan Kerr. A penalty kick. Did it happen inside or outside? Up stepped Owen Coyle, and Meldrum saved the day for Killie. A good save from him. Motherwell could and should have gone one up at the break, and that might have made all the difference. Bobby Williamson urged his men forward in the second half. Killie knew they'd had a real break. Dylan Kerr pushing it forward. And watch for McKee's cross from the left, and there is Paul Wright. Would you believe it? Killie in the driving seat now. Kerr and Wright celebrating in style. He scores so many vital goals, does Paul Wright. None more than that one. 3 precious points for Kilmarnock on their way now. Jim McIntyre had a good afternoon as usual. Dylan Kerr involved in everything. And McIntyre almost made it 2-0 there. But a precious win for Kilmarnock.
Somebody told me that last Saturday before we went out and played Morton, that you won the next 3 games, you know. After the way we'd been playing, I wouldn't have believed them. But it just shows you what a week does in football, and the way the confidence has started to grow in that dressing room, it's brilliant.
It really is a pressure business, isn't it, Paul? I mean, you could feel it today, and you could also feel the sense of relief around Rugby Park on full time.
Yeah, this club, you know, it's a Premier League club, and hopefully we can stay in the Premier League, because nobody wants to go in the first division. You see the set-up here and the players here. You know, it's just a pity it's a dogfight at the bottom. It's just going to be a pity that somebody's going to have to go down.
This one a very big game for both clubs. Points so vital to both right now. Owen Coyle in the attack for Motherwell. New signing Mickey Weir, and that's a good save from Colin Meldrum. So a bright start from Weir. But then Killie pushed up. Paul Wright in space, and a great block there from Brian Martin. And then just before half-time, controversy. Tommy Coyne on the attack, felled inside the box, says the referee, by Dylan Kerr. A penalty kick. Did it happen inside or outside? Up stepped Owen Coyle, and Meldrum saved the day for Killie. A good save from him. Motherwell could and should have gone one up at the break, and that might have made all the difference. Bobby Williamson urged his men forward in the second half. Killie knew they'd had a real break. Dylan Kerr pushing it forward. And watch for McKee's cross from the left, and there is Paul Wright. Would you believe it? Killie in the driving seat now. Kerr and Wright celebrating in style. He scores so many vital goals, does Paul Wright. None more than that one. 3 precious points for Kilmarnock on their way now. Jim McIntyre had a good afternoon as usual. Dylan Kerr involved in everything. And McIntyre almost made it 2-0 there. But a precious win for Kilmarnock.
Somebody told me that last Saturday before we went out and played Morton, that you won the next 3 games, you know. After the way we'd been playing, I wouldn't have believed them. But it just shows you what a week does in football, and the way the confidence has started to grow in that dressing room, it's brilliant.
It really is a pressure business, isn't it, Paul? I mean, you could feel it today, and you could also feel the sense of relief around Rugby Park on full time.
Yeah, this club, you know, it's a Premier League club, and hopefully we can stay in the Premier League, because nobody wants to go in the first division. You see the set-up here and the players here. You know, it's just a pity it's a dogfight at the bottom. It's just going to be a pity that somebody's going to have to go down.
This one a very big game for both clubs. Points so vital to both right now. Owen Coyle in the attack for Motherwell. New signing Mickey Weir, and that's a good save from Colin Meldrum. So a bright start from Weir. But then Killie pushed up. Paul Wright in space, and a great block there from Brian Martin. And then just before half-time, controversy. Tommy Coyne on the attack, felled inside the box, says the referee, by Dylan Kerr. A penalty kick. Did it happen inside or outside? Up stepped Owen Coyle, and Meldrum saved the day for Killie. A good save from him. Motherwell could and should have gone one up at the break. And that might have made all the difference. Bobby Williamson urged his men forward in the second half. Killie knew they'd had a real break. Dylan Kerr pushing it forward. And watch for McKee's cross from the left, and there is Paul Wright. Would you believe it? Killie in the driving seat now. Kerr and Wright celebrating in style. He scores so many vital goals, does Paul Wright. None more than that one. 3 precious points for Kilmarnock on their way now. Jim McIntyre had a good afternoon as usual. Dylan Kerr involved in everything. And McIntyre almost made it 2-0 there. But a precious win for Kilmarnock.
Somebody told me battle, which will keep Hibs, Motherwell, Kilmarnock and Wraith playing for their Premier Division lives right till the last match of the season. Wasn't just about the Old Firm this weekend. Relegation from the Premier League was a burning issue for 4 clubs on Saturday, and we can now look back at the goal action from the games, which could go a long way to settling which teams will form the top 10 next season. A vital game for both clubs at Rugby Park, and Motherwell introduced Mickey Weir from Hibs to try and help them fight off relegation. Good save there from Colin Meldrum. Kilmarnock on the attack this time, and some good defensive work by Motherwell. Watch this for a late tackle from Brian Martin. He does particularly well to keep out Paul Wright. Now penalty to Motherwell. Tommy Coyne through, Dylan Kerr brings him down, and the referee has no hesitation in pointing to the spot. Poor penalty though from Owen Coyle, or was it a good save from Colin Meldrum? Let's look at it again. Coyle tries to place it, and that's a very good save from the Kilmarnock Scotland under-21 keeper. Bobby Williamson dictating matters from the sidelines, and Killie now going for the goal, which would get them the 3 points. It breaks to Paul Wright, and that's a delicate finish from the Kilmarnock striker. His 5th goal in 6 games, and that was enough to give Kilmarnock the 3 points. What about Motherwell? Because Alec McLeish, obviously in the same position as Jim Duffy, has to get players in. I know they had a penalty chance to go ahead on Saturday, which I think we can see now.
Yeah, I think it was Dylan Kerr that brought down Tommy Coyne. It was a good dummy by Coyne, which bottomed the space, but a needless challenge, I would have thought, with so many Kilmarnock players goal side, but this is a super save from Colin Meldrum.
Great save from Meldrum. And Kilmarnock, of course, go on to win the game. And Kilmarnock, Davy, out of those 4, looking quite strong, having taken 3 points from Celtic, 3 points from Motherwell. Admittedly, they go to Ibrox on Saturday, but looking not bad. Yeah, I mean, it's been a great week. They get to the semi-finals of the Cup by beating Morton, beat Celtic, as you say, and a great result on Saturday. And I'm delighted for Bobby Williamson. I know that he said on here last week that he wasn't bothered about his own situation, but he's in a very difficult position and doing a super job down there. And the players really playing for him.
Well, I think that's hit the nail on the head. That any players you talk to down there all want Bobby to be appointed, and I just wonder why the Kilmarnock board are hanging around with this decision. Just briefly, Davy, Wraith Rovers, do we accept it? They're doomed. They won't accept it, but do we? Well, they really need a miracle now. I think that the last couple of Kilmarnock results really have shut the door on them now, and it does now look as if they're going to be relegated. Okay.